Recently, we've covered a number of stories on this channel that makes you wonder if we're living in the movie called Idiocracy. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. And actually, we got some news stories that seem to lend to that as well that we're going to cover in this video. Some new wonderful things that you see happening around you. A new type of price gouging you're not going to believe. We'll get into that, which is specifically tailored to you and how much they know you own, how much money you have, all that kind of stuff. Pretty awesome. Actually, it's not, but we'll get into that. We also have a ton of other stuff showing all the insanity going on around us. Gaming studios laying off their employees left and right. We got Hugh Jackman. We're going to get into that. We got this lady here. She might look a little familiar. Oh, yeah, Monica. We're going to get into that a little bit. We got also some surprising information about Lindsey Graham. We're going to get into also a number of other things, some new technologies that are coming out, particularly if you call your hospital. Some new stuff they're going to be rolling out soon here. We got robots and also some interesting new information about data centers, something that they've been telling us incorrectly. We'll get into that as well. Let's just get going here. Let's start with airlines in America are using surveillance pricing. One JetBlue customer had the price of their plane ticket double in one day because the data the airline collected showed they were flying for a funeral. So you got an important flight and they double your price because they know you're going to pay it. This is one of the biggest scams in American history. Do you think that it would be fine to double or triple the price of an airline ticket for someone flying for a funeral? There was a disturbing incident that played out on X that shed some light, I think, on how airlines are using this type of pricing in real time right in front of us. All right, check this out. This is actually at a congressional hearing, I think, where they're actually talking about this. Check this out.
Think that it would be fine? This is one of the biggest scams in American history. Do you think that it would be fine to double or triple the price of an airline ticket for someone flying to a funeral? There was a disturbing incident that played out on Twitter, on X, that shed some light, I think, on how airlines are using surveillance pricing in real time right in front of us. I think I've got the relevant exchange over my shoulder here. You have an ex-user who in April, this is April of this year, posted that he had seen a $230 price increase in one day when he was booking travel for a funeral on JetBlue. $230 price increase. They're going to figure out how they can rip you off one person at a time.
What did that say on the X post in response? JetBlue? Let's see what it says here. Try clearing your cache and cookies before booking in with an incognito window. Dude, what? Okay, so this explains everything. We talked about how they're now going to 6G. And you might think that has nothing to do with this, but actually it does. Because they're wanting to put these devices in your home, and it will know where you're at in the home, when you sleep, when you're awake, what you're buying. Well, they have other things that they can use for that. Track what you're doing online. But even it goes much further because they're trying to get as much information as possible about you, even more so than they used to. Okay? Now we understand why. So they can know exactly what you're going to do when, so they can charge you the most money possible to screw you over the best they can. That makes perfect sense of the entire thing, doesn't it? It makes perfect sense. So this is the kind of garbage they are bringing out now. Okay, check this one out. I literally gasped watching this. The American bought a cheap phone, hired someone to use it in a poor neighborhood, visit places acting like they have no money. After a day, apps on that phone had cheaper prices than normal person's phone. Okay.
Big tech is secretly overcharging us based on your personal data and what they think they know about you. It's price gouging, predatory, and evil. So I decided to fight back and trick the data into giving me lower prices. And my first step was to become someone else, or I guess something else. So I used the Wyoming corporate loophole and hired a registered agent to set up an LLC on my behalf to hide me from the system.
That's that extra layer of privacy you're looking for.
I named the new entity after someone that looks like they would have less money than they actually do to trick big data into thinking I'm poor, therefore I have less money to spend. friend. So I named the new entity Frank Reynolds, which I could then get a credit card for, which I then used to buy the cheapest possible smartphone, which costs only $20. Or I guess it's changed to $30 since filming this. It's called the Track phone, which is perfect because I wanted this phone to track everything
I used to actually use that. I remember.
I do. So I
used to buy the cheapest phones like that.
went to the lowest income zip code in Minnesota to activate the phone and opted in to all tracking options. But I needed to give this phone data to trick these pricing algorithms. So I made a Craigslist post seeking an improv actor to portray someone with the lowest intent to purchase everything. And I can't emphasize this enough. I found the perfect person.
Yeah, never pay for sugar.
And this whole thing was just step 2 in a 3-part plan where I tried to trick big data.
Charging different subscriptions.
Even better deal than this, so you'll have to go check that out. Sorry. Yes.
Here you go.
What's this?
Yeah, never pay for sugar.
And this whole thing was...
So apparently it gave him really low prices on the phone. Of course, he had to do all that crazy stuff just to get that. Because they're tracking everything. You know, now with these cameras everywhere as well, and now they're putting them in places where there are no cars. They claim they're just looking at license plates, but that's not apparently what they're doing, because they're now putting them on walking, trails and stuff like that as well, and pointing them at certain types of companies. You got here, even when you go to the gas pump, them showing an advertisement on the gas pump.
I hate America. I seriously hate this crap. I'm already purchasing a product.
Wendy's Frosty. Yeah, so, I mean, you see this kind of stuff going on everywhere. And what's really insidious about it is even things that were completely fine, like, just buying regular food. They've decided to find a way to destroy the food as well, to make it worse so they can save some pennies. And I saw this one yesterday. It's absolutely insane. Hotels and restaurants are serving fake eggs now. This is crazy. Okay, let me just play this. 49 additives in this. They literally are doing this to save some pennies and save some time.
At hotels, the grim process was exposed in a viral TikTok. A soggy slab microwaved in plastic, then mashed flat until it looks like an egg.
This yellow blob is glued together with 49 chemicals. Your hotel scramble starts as pasteurized yolks pushed through chemical vats, diluted in deli meat preservatives, and glued back together with liquefied cow bones, skin, and tissue. Those remains are pumped with rapeseed oil, crammed with starch, and finished with a coat of butter flavor containing 0 butter. It's not just hotel.
It's not even butter. It's like fake butter on top of that. So it's like a pseudo egg. And apparently there's a number of places doing this. Some hotel chains are doing this. Allegedly IHOP, and McDonald's as well. Like, really? So what the heck, man? How do you screw up eggs? You literally just crack the egg, put it in the pan, stir it, you're done. They can't even do that. They have to find a way to make it cheaper and worse for you. This is absolutely ridiculous. And we keep seeing stories like this all the time. And we're going to get into a ton of stuff. We're just barely getting started. I wanted to kind of get into some of that first. We're going to get into what's going on with all these video game companies, which are apparently laying everybody off because no one's buying their video games anymore. We're going to get into Hugh Jackman, what he said. We got Monica Lewinsky. We got Lindsey Graham getting caught. The guy just recently died, but getting caught with some interesting information. We got what's going on with a number of new technologies. We're going to get into all that, including what this guy had to say about data centers, since he owns and creates them himself, and tells you that some of these companies are full of it and are lying to you and this is what we were thinking. We'll get into that in a little bit. First, I got to mention food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. They got tons of different stuff available. All emergency food. They have lots of different options, different prices, as low as $30. I think even as low as $20. 3 days worth. You got months worth, few months worth for I think $700. They got a bunch of other options as well. Go check it out. Also, this book here, The Lost Ways, how your great-great-grandfather lived without electricity, how to build a cellar, do things around a house as they did in the old days. Hundreds of pages illustrated. you're going to definitely need that before the power goes out or something else happens, perhaps Terminators or The Matrix or whatever. Link is in the description for that as well. Go check out our investment opportunity, link below as well. No VR. And all of our other links were on X, doing a lot of good stuff over there. Let's get back to the video. So we have apparently a number of companies losing employees, going out of business. We're talking mega companies. Bethesda union members are protesting after being laid off, and it's hilarious how out of touch they are. And this one is from like a day ago, and we got a new one as well on top of this. All right, check this out. These are obviously the people that make all these woke games. They don't just do it with the movies, they do it with the games as well. And apparently they're a little bit out of touch.
Morale is really low because, you know, we've been told that we're making great games that players love and that we're doing well. And to have this suddenly hit us has been a huge shock to us.
Seriously?
It sucks. We make all kinds of games, all kinds of people love.
It'd be really nice if we could just get back to work and make them games that will define a generation of video gaming.
I worked at ZeniMax
Bro.
for about 5 years. We are having a march and a rally to demand dignity and respect and an end to the cycle of life.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You should see these pictures comparing before and after. How these people used to look back in the 90s versus now. You got to see some of these pictures, my friends. The developers back in the 90s versus today. Bungie, this is just one of many pictures. You got a bunch of chuds. You got a bunch of guys from the 90s, like 99% men, right? A bunch of nerds. Look like Elon Musk hired them or something. Of course, you got the new Bungie team. Like 3/4 women and some that it might be questionable. I don't know what the hell's going on here. Maybe that's why Call of Duty sucks now. I don't know. Yeah, or actually perhaps Halo. Maybe that's a better example. Halo, the one that just came out actually. We got also more pictures. Here you got some right here. Can we please get the nerdy blanks back? From Modern Warfare 2 and Halo 2 back. Here you have the old guys right here, the old team. They look like literal freaking nerds. They look like they would make programming for games that are action. You got a couple girls back here, probably some norms. Then you got the new team. And you're like, what the hell happened? Most of them tend to be, and we saw in the video there, they're all wearing pink, and you're like, really? Okay. That's great for Call of Duty. I'm sure a bunch of developers wearing pink. That's going to work out quite well, right? What's going on here, dude? Yes, indeed. Of course, let them work at McDonald's. This is the meme going around right now. Bunch of theater kid losers, only good for putting fries in the bag. Welcome home. You remember what that meme was? They told us all to learn to code. Oh, you lost your job back in 2020 because you didn't take the thing? Learn to code. Now you can work from home. Now AI is taking all the coding, right? Wow, that was a great idea. Go learn to code by the time you got out. 2024, 2025, AI already took over. Too late. Whoops. You know, it's like, what the hell are you talking about? It's so dumb. Yeah, here we go. Here's another. This is the latest one that came out today. What was this? Layoffs underway at Halo Studios right after the game releases. Apparently it didn't go as well as they thought. Not very many people want to play it for some strange reason. I don't know what it is. There's some little bit of a disconnect between the developers and the players. And now you have all these people putting up their resumes. They're already getting laid off. LinkedIn for Halo Studios. Every player has a game they'll never forget. That's why I chose this career. I want to help create games and bring smiles to players. It's been a few years. It's been a few years since the good games, okay? The game I play every night literally is from 2016. It's 10 years old. Okay, I play the game Titanfall too. I used to play Apex a little bit, but it got really weird. It got weird. Okay, it just got woke. And I'm like, I don't want to play this crap. I'm going to go back to the old games. They actually look like real soldiers. You know what I mean? Like, it's sort of a sci-fi game. It's got a small cult following. You know, it's sort of like Modern Warfare, but you can run on the walls. And you got a little bit more sci-fi to it. You got some big robots you can jump into and stuff like that. But At any rate, so getting on to some of these other stories here, we got Spider-Man apparently making $2 billion, while the Odyssey's not making as much as they expected, even with the entire media behind it. This one, no one talked about it whatsoever. It got $2 billion already, practically. It's doing quite well. You got here Hugh Jackman talking about how they made Deadpool and Wolverine. It's kind of crazy because it was at the last second. Ryan Reynolds was going to do a Deadpool 3. He thought the studio was going to reject it. And Hugh Jackman called him literally minutes before he was going to go into the meeting. And he was already feeling like they're going to reject Deadpool 3. He's like, hey, man, I'm on board. Even though like he just came out of the blue and called him and said, hey, I'm interested in doing Wolverine and Deadpool. And he's like, you serious? And they actually went out. And let me just play this real quick. You see what I'm saying? It's pretty cool.
And I was driving out to the Hamptons. And I was just like, the question came on, what do you want? What do you want? And I just went, I want to play Wolverine. And I wanted to do Deadpool Wolverine. And then by the end of the trip, I didn't even make it to the end. I stopped to pee somewhere. And I got out of the car and I rang Ryan. I said, dude, I don't know where you're at. I think you're about to do Deadpool 3. But if you want, I'm in. I want to do all those years. And he goes, are you serious? I said, I'm 100% serious. He goes, dude, I have a meeting with Kevin Feige in 3 hours from now. And we have a pitch for Deadpool 3 that you are not in. But I have a feeling they're going to say no. And he goes, I don't think...
Yeah, man. That ended up being a pretty good movie, too. But you get these weird gems once in a while, right? Speaking of gems. Oh, my goodness. Monica actually got prettier. What the hell happened? I can't say so much about Hillary here. The Hillmeister looking pretty... So what the heck's going on? Monica she actually looks prettier now. What the hell's going on here? In case you're wondering why Bill looks miserable every time you see him these days. Oh my goodness, what the hell? Here we have Lindsey Graham apparently had a trans, escort speak out after his death. Let's just check out what this person had to say.
Meet Lindsey Graham. I met him in 2015, so it was the first time I'd ever gone to DC. Posted my little ad. I was staying at the Hilton in DuPont Circle. Ad went live, and then I get a text message.
Hello, Allison. Are you available today? Interested in an appointment for this afternoon, if possible?
Yes, of course. I'll be in DuPont Circle closer to noon. I'm flying in from Atlanta and land around 10 a.m. Do you have a specific time in mind?
When is the soonest that you'll be available?
Would 1:32 work for you? Just so I can check in and freshen up.
Oh my goodness.
That works. Donation?
I request 400 minimum for my time.
Why that expression?
Oh, because times have totally changed. I mean, back in the day, $400 was pretty standard for trans people. Like, it was like a very standard, like, minimum expectation. A lot of girls, actually, if we're talking...
Bro, it's like, you saw all these documentaries about pastors getting caught, with stuff like this. Covered those in the past, but obviously it seems like everyone in charge of whatever, some big company, the government, pastors, whoever, for some reason they always got these, got some escort or something like that. It's like, what the hell? Can we just get some normal people? Like even influencers. Sneeko, I think, just got caught supposedly with a witch. She like ratted him out. Like he's supposed to be a Muslim, right? And he's like doing 3, sums with like a conservative, a witch, and him. Okay, a Muslim, a conservative, and a witch. It sounds like a joke from the old days or something, right? They all enter a bar, right? I don't understand this. Okay, I'm an influencer, supposedly. That's what I am, I guess. And I see all these crazy stories of other influencers, and I'm like, these people are nuts. Literally freaking crazy, like their lives are just like a roller coaster. I'm just some boring dude in his basement, married to a wife, have kids. I'm not these weird. I don't know what these people are doing, man. I guess I'm just not made for this, or maybe I am made for this and they're not made for this. That's probably a better way to look at it. Some of the stuff brings out the worst in people. If you're making a lot of money or you get a lot of fame, some people just turn really weird, right? That's probably what it is. American nurse exposes a new change is coming. They will no longer be able to advise patients who call in over the phone. Artificial intelligence will listen in on all calls and prompt them on what to say to patients. You know what? This is dumb. But let's just play what he has to say here. And I'm going to tell you a little story. My wife just literally had a surgery yesterday, actually. And it was an emergency surgery. She's okay. Everything's good. But I talked to a nurse there, and I was talking about AI, and I said something literally related to this. But let's just play this first.
About how AI is taking over healthcare. So I work as a nurse, and I have several jobs. One of them, I work from home, as you can tell by my appearance today. And I work as a triage nurse, where people will call in and say they're having certain symptoms. And I tell them, you should go to the emergency room, you should call 911, you can take care of this at home, whatever. And we've been informed that we are now going to be prompted by an AI chat function that listens to our conversations and prompts us with what it wants us to say. And we have all been nurses for years and done this job for years. So we know what to say. But the kicker is we also need to correct the AI text. When the call's over, we look through the transcript and correct what was said because the company wants AI to learn. So we were like, well, is this just going to replace us? And the company's like, no, it's a tool. But we're like, but why do we have to teach it if it's a tool to help?
Bro, yeah, they want to replace you. You gotta just know this. You gotta just know this. Because I used to be a mechanical engineer, and I heard stories about engineers, they would have a new engineer that they're training. You know what I mean? Like, you're moving up the ladder, you're making more money. Oh, we want you to train this new guy from India. Okay. Fully trained. Oh, bye-bye. You lost your job. He's replacing you. Isn't that great? Now, what I said to the nurse yesterday, like we were talking about, I don't know how we got onto AI or whatever, but we were talking about it giving out medical advice. And I'm like, well, yeah, usually it knows what it's talking about, but sometimes it's full of shit. She's like, no, it isn't. And I'm like, yeah, it is actually sometimes. I've seen it say stupid shit before. Matter of fact, right after she got out of her surgery, we asked Google Gemini, should she eat certain things? And it said, no, you shouldn't. And guess what? Her doctor said, yes, you should. So should I listen to Google Gemini or should I listen to her doctor? What do you guys think? I mean, it's just obvious, like obviously these AIs are not always correct about things. They're pretty smart on some stuff. But again, as I said in the past, they're like sophisticated morons. They're very smart sometimes, but sometimes they just make really dumb mistakes and they say dumb things. And they also kind of lean into your conversation. That's another thing I noticed about AI is that they'll like give you confirmation bias as well. I'm noticing that about AI. So I think honestly, AI is not as good as they claim. And they want him to teach it so that it can replace him probably, because clearly it's probably not going to be correct about a lot of stuff. It's going to be, it's going to be correct probably about a lot of stuff, but it's going to be missing some stuff, right? And honestly, I don't think a lot of people are going to want to listen to some dumbass AI tell them about what they need to do. Do you guys want to call into the doctor and have an AI tell you what to do? Or do you want a doctor to tell you what to do? See what I mean? No, the reason why Google Gemini actually recommended that she doesn't eat certain foods is because actually, I think a year or two ago, they used to have a different protocol for her surgery. So it's actually giving old information. So, you know how like sometimes, I don't even want to get into all this crap, but the point is that it doesn't always give out the best information. I'm thinking the reason why they have the AI over them is for legal reasons. So maybe the AI knows what to avoid saying for legal reasons, but doesn't fully understand all the medical stuff. And that's why they have it training the AI while also the AI is over them to make sure they're legal. Because I think a lot of these companies only give a crap about the legal part. I really think that in America, that's the big problem with America, is you have a lot of selfish people running these companies, trying to make a ton of money, and they're very concerned about lawsuits. And that's about it. If they can get away with whatever, they're going to do it. Like, for instance, I showed you those fake eggs that they were selling at these places, which now, once that gets out in the public, people hear about it, they're probably going to change it. Like, oh, we can't sell that anymore. We got to actually make real eggs again, right? So the whole point is that they don't want to get sued. And that's the thing about America is you can sue over the dumbest things in some cases as well. Some cases it's warranted, sometimes it's not. The point is that like it feels like everything's about making money off you anymore. Right? That's what it seems like. And it's not really like, supposedly they're providing a service to help you, but that's not really what it is. The service is not as important as the money in the lawsuits. They put the money in the lawsuits up here, the service down here. It used to be the service was up here, the money was down here, and it was a handshake, or we care about you because maybe we actually have morals, or maybe we believe in something other than ourselves only, like God, for example. I don't know. Call me a little sarcastic. Of course, the workplace has changed a lot as well. Last 40, 50 years, it used to be more like a family environment. Your boss maybe actually cared about you some. These days, doesn't seem so, does it? Not really, in many cases. At any rate. You got all this other irony going on here. You have a Tesla. The guy's got a generator on the back end charging it while he's driving. Now, this is really funny, the irony of this as well. Look how much pollution that's causing. The entire point of buying a Tesla is to avoid pollution, which of course it doesn't, because it gets the power from power plants, which use coal fire, which is the same as gasoline. So you're literally not even saving the environment by buying a Tesla in the first place. This guy's literally polluting it way more than a normal car, like a bazillion times more. This is like driving around some old dump truck from 1970 or something. That's literally what he's doing right now. It's just funny, you know, the irony of the whole thing. You got these Toyota apparently spin out company Walden Robotics just announced humanoid robots project. So you got a lot of these companies now making robots. Walden Robots partners with Toyota Practical Hominids, humanoids, not hominids. Looks kind of like Wall-E or something. There you go. Is that Wall-E or is that something else? I can't remember. That's from the 80s. That's not Wall-E. That's some other. I forgot what that movie was called. What the hell was that movie called? I can't remember. So long ago. Or was that Wall-E? I can't remember. Whatever it was. I remember that movie from a long, long time ago, though. Here we got a guy who owns data centers. He's a CEO. Told a city council the quiet part out loud. Doug Seve runs data centers in Iowa. He says the water crisis around facilities like Google's isn't inherent to the technology. Closed loop cooling, dry coolers, immersion systems exist and use little to no consumptive water. I literally said this because I studied power plant technology as a mechanical engineer, and they could easily make cooling towers or some cooling method to use the same water over and over, and they're just being cheap asses, which is what I said. And guess what? The data center owner is saying the same thing I said. Let's play it.
State of Iowa, and everything that Google is telling you is BS. I have a data center right now that's running in Hiawatha, and I have been there 14 years and have never used 1 gallon of water. What Google isn't telling you is they don't want to use the technology because it costs more.
Yes, I literally said this. I wasn't, and I'm not referring to necessarily the company Google, because actually this website's owned by it. But I mean, this is literally every company. All the companies almost building data centers do this because they want to save money, build it quickly, because they know the technology is evolving so quickly. And again, it comes back to service, lawsuits. Oh, I think the lawsuit's more important. I think the money's more important. I think what we want's more important than the service itself. You see what I'm getting at? This is what I'm literally talking about. They've changed it to, you will own, of course, nothing and be happy because we want you to buy a subscription of everything. You no longer own a physical disc of a movie or a game. You no longer own your car or your house. You got to pay property taxes. You got to pay a subscription for your car or your printer or whatever the hell it is. Or latest one, ice in your own refrigerator. Apparently 2027 models of refrigerators will charge you a subscription after the first year to actually use the ice maker. That sounds like an awesome deal, right? This is the kind of stuff going on now. It's because they're so damn greedy They can't just leave the way it was, the way it worked. They got to do their little greedy things. 20,000 people are publicly vouching for a man accused of cutting down these cameras in a small West Virginia town. People, this is funny, man. Let's play this really quick. Apparently, people are not very happy with these cameras. But according to Kevin O'Leary, it's only the Chinese that hate these cameras and data centers. Right? Let's play this.
For the whereabouts of a man accused of destroying flock cameras in West Virginia. Thousands of people have publicly said they were with or saw 20-year-old Wesley Jackson during the time he was accused of the crime, with comments such as, "Couldn't be him. He was helping me replace the roof on a homeless shelter. And I saw him serving at a soup kitchen at the time of the incident. He has pleaded not guilty to the crimes against him." A wild story tonight where it appears nearly 20,000 people have vouched for the whereabouts.
20,000 people, man. I think people might not like these cameras very much. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, great stuff. Of course, this stuff isn't working out also in the communism realm. You got this whole thing with Mamdani, the whole thing with uniting Islam and communism and the left, all this stuff going on currently apparently is making their numbers go down. People are not exactly liking this.
Oh my God. Listen up, Republicans. Loses in a blue way. Is this really that bad? It's actually completely changed. It's almost like electing mentally ill isn't actually a good way to win a general election.
Abolishing policing is one segment of reforming and reevaluating our criminal justice system.
Abolishing policing. All right, why don't we start with your security? Well, I mean, you know. Oh, here we go. This is Thanksgiving.
One thing that they brought up as well was a post from you in 2021. You said Americans should cancel Thanksgiving, should have done this in 1621.
My hospitality background in owning a restaurant for 7, 8
You're really going to try to defend that?
years, that bringing folks around the table to share conversation and build community is always a good.
Isn't that what? Oh my God. All these people are so annoying. You wanted to cancel Thanksgiving before it started. That was back when they had the whole COVID thing as well. And it's dangerous to be around grandma. And then they block you from even going to see grandma. You know, and then they throw a bunch of people that are infected in the old folks' home nearby. Makes total sense, right? At any rate, that's my video. Kind of wonder what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.